Welcome back to TML Weekly. This is the Game 5 recap. Leafs just lost 4-0. Couldn't close out the series. Second game in a row. Jan, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I mean, it's we were group texting everyone here through the game and kind of pointing out this and that, and stuff that kept coming up was the whole demons and this group and this team, and then you start to wonder really if it was the coaching, like can these guys win? Well, it's true. Can these guys win that game that they need to win? Can they play the way they're supposed to play when everything's on the line? And they haven't proven it yet. They just haven't. And we're not talking about playing Tampa or Florida or Colorado or Dallas here. We're talking about the Ottawa Senators that snuck in or had a good end stretch to get in. But at the end of the day, they're where the Leafs were 6 or 7 years ago, with a young group getting in for the first time, excited. Remember the Washington series? This similar to that Washington series, right?
Remember that goal at the side of the net?
Yeah.
Matthews off the pad and in. It was beautiful. Remember that? What a great
And
feeling.
Washington wasn't. I mean, they were a good team then. I don't think they won that year. Anyway, all I'm saying is the whole team has to be better. They were missing passes. Bobby McMahon, we were talking. I would scratch him, believe it or not, for Nicholas Robertson.
Lost. Well, you're guaranteed a goal.
His shift with 3 minutes left. I don't know if you guys know, but it was about 3:45, right before they pulled the goalie.
Lost.
He had two plays that probably are in the back of the net, and he missed the puck on both. It gets, and then I didn't like Berube pulling that early. I don't like it. I've never liked it. Even with a 2-goal lead, I just don't. Maybe if you have a draw and you have a timeout and you have time to talk to the guys, I'm not even convinced everybody knew the goalie was out.
Yeah,
right.
Two seconds for the first guys there.
Yeah, so when and the Matthews play on the power play that led to that. I mean, 2 bad plays. Okay, forget about the cupcake he gave to the guy to create the 2-on-1. I mean, that was tape to tape, right? Forget about that one, right? Shouldn't have even got to that point, because on the sequence before, he tried this crazy, and I've talked about this on this show 100 times. How do you kill a power play when you're on it? Is take a stupid angle shot that's going to rim around and come out. They had all kinds of pressure. Get that puck to the middle of the ice. You got 5 forwards out there. Get the puck to the middle of the ice and have the puck go in like this so it doesn't rim around. So it comes around, they get it back. He, makes a bad play. And I didn't think 34 and 16, Marner and Matthews were great tonight. I like Knives' game. I like it every night. I mean, he's heavy.
Building on your point, let's go back to the, I think it was the first goal. Pontus Holmberg, we've got possession deep in their zone. We've been playing well. We've got the cycle going. Pontus Holmberg takes the lowest of low percentage shots, does exactly what you just said, fires the puck around the boards.
Yeah.
The puck goes down the ice. They get a whistle in their zone. Boom. 8 seconds later, the puck's in the net. Right? Can't happen.
Yeah.
Those plays, that is November hockey. It cannot happen now.
I mean, it was the whole thing. Yeah, I'm not blaming Matthews or Marner. I mean, they didn't, first time they didn't get a point all series or whatever. At the end of the day, good teams would have ended this series probably in 4. Right now you get to 5 and it's okay. Yeah, big deal. You didn't, we'll go home and we'll win it at home.
Who's the best player? Who's the best player for the Leafs on the ice tonight?
Now, who was the best player for the Leafs?
Yeah. Scott Laughton.
Yeah, I like Lawton's line a lot. I thought Morgan Riley.
Second best player?
I thought that game was 4-0 if it wasn't for Morgan Riley going into the third period.
Follow me though. Who was the second best player on the ice?
Stolarz.
Who was the third best player on the ice?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so you see the point I'm making though.
Yeah.
How many times do we have to go through? Your best players have to show up in the biggest moments. Listen, I think I've been pretty calm all season on listen, Matthews, something's been wrong all year. You don't fly to Germany for no reason. We've been there. We beat that horse dead. Something's not right. We're going to find out later on what it is. Whatever. I'm sorry, man. You want 15 million?
Doesn't that give you exactly what you just said? Wouldn't that give this group and the coaching staff and whoever else talks to their psychologists or whoever they use now, wouldn't that let them say, hey, you know what? Let's go all out here and win this in 4 to rest 34 for a week.
100%.
Before you have to go to Florida, right?
100%.
It's there's something.
So listen,
how many times did Nylander starting to go and just fumbled the puck? The puck's in his skates, over skates it.
So
he doesn't look very good past 2 games.
Skating passes, all kinds of crazy.
Everything was like
when it was 1-0. You need a bounce. We get the power play, and
it was like we were in slow motion. The puck was always a half step ahead of us. We were always a half step behind, and it was one of those games where nothing looked crisp, nothing looked comfortable, and you needed the bounce. And in a game like that, when somebody says they want $14 or $15 million a season, I'm sorry, man. That's when you got to step up and be like, don't worry, boys. Get on my back. You know who does that? Leon Draisaitl. Did you watch Leon Draisaitl the other night? 4 points?
Yeah.
No problem.
That'd be nice.
Nathan, how many times have you seen Nathan McKinnon just go, don't worry, guys, let's go? All the time. We've got –
It was a winnable game. It was a winnable hockey game, even though they didn't play well. Right,
John. I think you're making the best point. The best point of all this is
who has been a menace to the Leafs for a couple of years now. When he takes that boneheaded penalty, you score on that power play, you win the game probably 3-1, 4-1 in regulation. Right? That's you have to. The last thing you can do now is give that up, and then at the end of the game, my daughter FaceTimed me, Maddie, and she had a good point. It's 4-0 or 3-0. 3-0 when Kachuk scored. There's a minute left or something. Why do you have the goalie out? She said. And I was like, well, they're trying to, get some confidence and get one and whatnot. But in my opinion, and I want to talk briefly on the same note about the Montreal game the other day. This is when you settle some scores. This is when you go out there and you put your biggest guys and your heaviest guys. And you know what? They ended up doing that. And they got the lot line out there and they mixed it up. Great. I love that. But you know what, Matthews? Instead of breaking your stick on the bench when you give up a muffin to the other team and end the game for you, break your stick over Brady Kachuk's back. Or fear Tim Stützle. Don't cross. I don't want to see anybody get suspended. But show your passion other ways. And, when you're the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs or any team in the National Hockey League, I think that it was time for him to maybe get dirty and maybe give Linus Ullmark a little bump in the crease and start a melee, right? That's how teams get together.
Wow. And how many?
I'm going to, I might shock our viewers and listeners here. I expect this in Game 7. I expect the wave that Ottawa has created. Okay, you got Brady telling the crowd in Ottawa, we're coming back. He's laughing and carrying on the bench, right? He scores the winner and he's smiling, or the empty netter and he's smiling going by. Bury your stick in his ribs, right? No, this guy basically come in and clown this team. So who has the advantage going back to Ottawa? You got the crowd. The crowd, now they believe they can win the series, right? Game 4, they're trying to win a game, right, to be respectable. And then they're coming in here tonight and saying, hey, we got to,
if we get one, we're right back in it.
So you go to Ottawa. Now you got the crowd. They're confident, right? Their goalie's getting better. You had a chance when he was playing crappy to end them the other night. You don't. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting couple. I heard them talking about going to Hull. Wall. Sorry. No. Stolarz has been great. I thought he was fine. I didn't like the overtime goal the other night. I didn't like the goal tonight, right? The first one.
And so I feel like we've said that in Game 3, Game 4, and Game 5. Listen, has Stolarz made some big moments? Absolutely.
He's let in 2 goals a game, right? If this group can't score 3 against the Ottawa Senators, it ain't Stolarz.
You don't misunderstand the point. I'm not saying Anthony Stolarz is the reason we're not winning games. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is it's the same thing that we have with Freddie Anderson, right? You can play great. You can make 37 all-world saves. But Jesus, man, can you make the save when it matters? That is the thing. Shout out to Jason Leahy watching tonight.
I think he's watching from Playa del Carmen, Mexico.
Ooh.
Where he lives. He's an old buddy of mine that I grew up with here in Nova Scotia, and he's retired now. He lives in the.
Well, Jason, I hope you're enjoying a Corona tonight, because you're right. The Leafs power play definitely did not look as good tonight. And so here's something that I noticed in this game tonight. How many times did you watch Nylander or Nyes walk out of the corner and watch the defenseman gravitate away and give them time to go up top, to give them time to drive the net? And they went to the point every freaking time.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, I mean, they were just a little bit off. You know, it could be nerves. It could be who knows. But you know what? They better figure it out. You know, and maybe make a couple lineup changes. I don't know. I mean, the only one that's evident to me would be I wouldn't change the goaltender. I just wouldn't.
I wouldn't be mad if they did. I wouldn't be mad if they did.
I think it would be
a panic move.
I don't know how to tell you.
I put Robertson in for McMahon. I wanted them tonight to put McMahon up with sometimes when a guy's struggling, you play him with a couple of better players and get him going. When they moved Domi in the third period up with Nylander and Tavares, I might have put Bobby McMahon up there and given him a shot. But then you see the last shift. Holy crap.
He's lost. It was funny. The funny part was, it's funny that you say that. Even Kara said, watching the game, she said, Dad, he looks like he doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, no, he was
just it's too much stuff going on.
Two simple plays that a kid would make, right? He couldn't get a stick on the puck, and then the other guy got body position on because he kind of, instead of moving his feet and getting to the play, he was the first guy on that puck, and the Ottawa defenseman I think it was Zub, kind of came in and got better body position. Chip, it's gone, and then it got turned over again, and he could have got it, and he kind of. I
mean, this Zub looks like he's Zdeno Chara all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's played well. But you're making them look good. You're giving them confidence. You give their goalie confidence. You give these Stutzlas and all these.
And listen, Johnny, they blocked more shots tonight. I don't know what the number was, but I feel
18,
like
17 for all.
Was it 8? Was it that close? I feel like every single time we got a legit shot, man, it was like their stick was on it, their knee was on it, their foot was like.
No, let's talk about the face-offs here because you made a good point during the game.
Yeah, during the game, it just seemed like the Leafs lost every single draw, D zone, offensive zone. They could not get any possession, anything going. When I looked at the stats after the game, the Leafs had 50.7% in the draw.
Yeah,
49.3.
But that's in the neutral zone, and that's, you know what I mean. You're right. Every big draw that I saw tonight, they didn't win it cleanly. There was one on the power play at the first power play that,
I found too. A lot of the Leafs chances were just one and done to get in their zone, cycle around for a couple seconds, get a shot, it either get blocked or saved, and then Ottawa would clear it out.
And then automatically in the first three games, when the puck was on a Leaf defenseman's stick, it was out.
Yeah.
Right. It was the little bump play to the middle if need be, and chip gone. And it wasn't clearing it. It was passing it and breaking it out. That wasn't happening tonight. There were second and third chances to keep the puck in the zone. So it was they laid an egg. I don't.
You know who you got to give credit to? Give credit to Ottawa. Ottawa sat there and played like Florida did last year. Every time there was a little bit of pressure and they weren't sure, puck up in the air, flip it down the ice. It was a carbon copy of how Florida beat us last year. Carbon copy.
The deeper the series goes, the more confidence Ottawa gets, and you guys, they're an NHL team. They've got great players. They've got a goalie that has a better resume than anybody.
We got some demons.
Yeah, well, who doesn't right now, right?
Ottawa has no demons right now.
No.
What demon does Ottawa have? Ottawa's got no demon at all.
They're playing on house money right now.
100%.
Right? Like hey, we get to play again. We get to go home. Right? Let's go back to Toronto on Saturday night. That's my talk. If I'm Trav Green in the room, I'm just going to say, guys, you have a chance to go to Toronto on a Saturday night, on Hockey Night in Canada, with the whole friggin' world watching, and upset a team that a lot of people picked to win the Stanley Cup. So,
go back to
Toronto has to play their best game coming up. The way they played tonight, they'll lose bad. They just can't let teams like. At the end of the day, we've been through 5 games. Toronto's won as many games as Ottawa has in regulation.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah. Just go back to a bit of a positive.
The other 3 could be 4-1 done right now for Toronto.
Sure could.
They won 1 hockey game.
Yeah.
Right?
Just going back to a bit of a positive, talking about the Leafs' best players tonight. I forgot to mention Chris Tanev. I thought he had.
Oh, he was great.
What is Chris Tanev not the best player on the ice?
The third, he had a great break. Took the puck off Sanderson's stick on that rush, and then he had a great diving block on the 2-on-1 coming in on Cousins.
Yeah,
but
you know who I haven't been last 2 games I haven't liked on the back end is Brandon Carlo. I feel a little slow when they get a step on him. It's a problem. He's good down low and heavy, and he usually wins his battles in the corner if it's not a rush chance. But when they're coming, I didn't like his game the last 2 nights. Maybe something's bothering him. McCabe's been steady. Benoit's been great. Benoit's you can argue that Benoit's been their best defenseman in this series, right? You could, he's hasn't done anything wrong.
If we are giving flowers out tonight, I think Scott Laughton played his best game as a Leaf tonight.
Yeah. Yeah,
right? I think, and Steven Lorentz is a guy who always seems to show up. He doesn't get a lot of ice time, but when he's out there, you freaking notice him.
That 2-0
for me, they'd be playing a lot for me on Thursday night.
For sure.
They had a lot of good pressure shifts down low, and they're not afraid to, punch somebody in the face or take a punch in the face. I'd like Ottawa played gritty. They played gritty the whole series. They haven't changed, right? They're in your face. They'll cross-check you. They'll, even the little thing by Greg there, tackling Marner. He did it, and look what happens. They get a shorty and win the hockey game, right? So, Toronto's got to step up. They've got to kind of have a come to Jesus meeting, or do something and show up and play. They don't want Game 6 even going to overtime, right? You want to pound this team like you should.
Well, the only saving grace, and I will say this to Leaf fans, just as a everybody take a deep breath. We do nothing easy. This team there was a stat they threw out on the game tonight. The Leafs have not won a playoff series in less than 6 games since 1963. Okay. So everybody, it was always going 6. If we're honest, I think right now, I feel like it's going 7. If I was in Vegas
before the game, and I said it when it was 1-0. If you can't find a way to win this game, then I'd expect to be back here Saturday night.
And that is the gut check games for us, right? Yep. Because listen, a Game 7 in Toronto with the history that this group has in this city, listen, they deservedly got booed off the ice tonight. And let me tell you, Saturday night in Toronto for a Game 7, you will never see pressure on a group of players like you will see on 16, especially. Because if we're being honest, we might be in the last 2 games you ever see him in a jersey, right? Like that's the reality of where we are right now.
If they go out Saturday night, that is the last time you see him.
100%. And listen, it's probably necessary because you know what? You can't go MIA and demand 15 sheets. Can't do it.
You can't say MIA. It's 1 game. He's got 6 or I don't like that. Right?
Big players, big moments, man. Sorry.
If that was the case, then if Gretzky would have swept every series in his career.
No, that's not it. No. That's not it at all.
They had an off night. They've been fine all series.
John, that is, I can't even believe you're going there. You're gonna compare Gretzky.
You just said that great players
show up in big moments.
Right.
Great players show up in big moments.
Well, how come Connor McDavid has lost a playoff game in his career?
Hold on. Let me ask you this question then.
Yeah.
Do we concede Mitch Marner's a great player? We would concede that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 0 goals in elimination games in his career. None. No. 5, 6, 7. He's never scored. Those are big moments, big games. Never scored. Sorry, man.
From
it's
2019 on, in 17 game 5, 6, and 7s, Marner now is 0 goals, 5 assists.
Big games, big moments. You want 15 sheets? Show up. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I've been waiting 9 years for it. I don't think I'm asking a lot.
For 9 more. Hank, this is the window right here.
100%.
Honest to God, that doesn't happen this year. I don't know. I blow stuff up.
You have to. But you know who I want to give marks to for a guy that I was hard on the last couple of years? John Tavares played great tonight. John Tavares had a solid game tonight. Right?
I thought he was okay. I mean he like them all. He had a tough time getting a handle. He had a couple of point blank opportunities in the high slot. He had that breakaway part. I thought that should have been a call on him. I think they got a piece from him from behind. But anyway,
the calls tonight were very and listen, don't get me wrong. I was very glad that we got that high stick in the second period. But I'm sorry, man. That was a terrible call. I'm glad it went in our way. Yeah. But it wasn't even a stick. It was the guy's gloving face. Like it was a Bush League amateur call.
I think you know what, and I'll end on this. I don't like, and I've said it over and over and over. You guys have asked me about the 5 forwards. Okay, I don't like it. If there's a defenseman there, we might have an opportunity of not letting that goal in. I just don't like it. There's been 2 shorthanded goals in this group that are key goals in this series that probably don't happen if you have a defenseman on the ice.
Fair.
Right.
It's a fair criticism.
Hopefully, I'd like to see them address that. I mean, you know what? This I think they're afraid of hurting somebody's feelings because there's 5 of them that belong on that. You know what?
I'm so done with feelings and emotions.
Yeah. I would have 2. I don't like the length that they keep them out there. Quite a lot. Often they're out there for a minute 20, a minute 30. And if that puck gets turned over and you've got 5 forwards on the ice and you've been out there for more than a minute, it's over, right? You don't have that lateral ability moving and just that gut.
And your lungs are on fire.
You're done, right? So I would rather see them bust them up, go to the rink tomorrow, bust it up into 2 units with at least 1 defenseman on each unit. I'd throw them in a blender. They're 0 for 7 right now, right? They started off this series unbelievable, and now they can't even get a shot half the time. They're getting scored on. Right?
Yeah,
so I would go and I'd have 2 power play, and I would go 30 seconds, 30 seconds, unless you get sustained pressure, obviously, and you don't get that opportunity. But I'd have 2 power play units going on Thursday night, and maybe Matthews and Nylander on 1, and Marner and Tavares are on 1, and Nyes is on 1, and pick your poison for the other guy, or maybe give somebody that doesn't give an opportunity, get some net front presence in there. Put Steven Lorentz, or put he's got nice hands in tight. Put Max Pacioretty in front of the net. I don't know.
I mean, listen. Jason just said throw somebody like Benoit with a slapper and Nyes in front of the net. Like listen. Sure, I guess. I feel like if we're changing this stuff around in Game 6, I mean, fine.
They've adjusted. They couldn't stop them. game 1 and 2.
But John,
Now they do.
but let's be clear, and I don't think there's any way of sugarcoating it. We're in panic mode.
Absolutely.
This is DEFCON.
They should be.
This is DEFCON 5. This is DEFCON 5. And so I just had a buddy tweet me who just said Marner got interviewed after the game and said, hey, this is how it goes sometimes.
But what do you want him to say?
Tone deaf.
What do you want him to say?
I want him to say we didn't play our best game tonight.
Well,
we didn't play our best game. I didn't play our best game. And you know what? It
is the way it goes.
It's unacceptable. That's what I wanted him to say. It's unacceptable because that's what it is.
Well, watch the whole interview, and I'm sure he said something to that effect too. But anyway, I mean, what I would keep them away from the press if I was Berube.
100%. It should have been one guy going out or two guys going out tonight.
I'd take the fine. I'd say, yeah, no, guys aren't available tonight. They're banged up. Sorry.
I agree.
Fine me. No problem. Yeah. We're not going to speak tomorrow. Okay. I'll talk for the group.
Yeah.
No players are available. And then Thursday before the game, no players are available. And you work on the little things that you need to work on. Get the guys,
I'd like to see that too. God, I'd like to see that too.
Sometimes less is more too. And Berube strikes me as the type of guy that I don't know what the weather is going to be like tomorrow in Toronto. But sometimes it's as simple as saying, oh, is it? Okay. Yeah. Sometimes it's as simple as saying, hey guys, go play golf today. Stay away from the rink. Okay. Stay off your phones. Don't read what's going on out there. We're a good fucking hockey team, and we're going to be fine on Thursday night. Go have some, or take your kid to school and hang out and just do your thing. We're gonna fly out at 6 o'clock or something.
Because John, this is why we brought Craig Berube here.
Yeah,
be very clear. This moment right now is why he's here. And I've backed him all season. I've loved the way we've played all season. Tonight, when we were going in the third period, I actually wasn't that down on the play. I kind of thought like we've been here 100,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And we've come back and scored 2 goals in 5 minutes, right at the end of a hockey game to steal one, maybe that we shouldn't have won. So listen, would I be stunned if we lost game 6? No, not at all. However, I'm of the mindset very much that it would not surprise me to see the Leafs go in there and blow them out 7-1. Right? This team right now is on that knife's edge where we can go either way. And I pray, oh my God, do I pray that we're gonna snap out of it and handle business in Ottawa, because otherwise, boys, it's gonna be a stressful Saturday night.
Yeah, well, I'm going to end it with 2 there at the end there. Did you see the Cousins cannot Dylan? I don't mind Dylan. I think he's an honest player. I think Nick Cousins isn't. And me and guys that I think are a little phony and dishonest out there. Cousins waited till the linesman came in to throw the punch at the end there. Did you see that?
Linesman too.
Bitch move.
Yeah, he could get. Who cares? He's terrible. Right? But you're letting these guys behave the way that they have to. Behave, but then you don't address it when the game's over, right? There hasn't been a time in this series other than game 1 and game 5 at the end where the game was, the other 3 games ended on a goal. So it wasn't like you could go out there and take a double minor. That's when you take the double minor. That's when you make sure you cross-check somebody and then they feel it and you take the 4.
Does anybody have any concern about Morgan Riley and supplemental discipline?
No.
No,
we don't at all.
That was fine.
Okay,
I can score too.
Oh, okay. It was a kind of. I mean, I didn't mind.
His hands were out when he was going in. That's fine. But
there's been much worse than that in the playoffs that hasn't even got a sniff.
Hey, listen, remember Jason Spezza?
Yeah.
In Calgary a few years ago, 7 games for a first-time offender that nobody could believe. So it's Toronto. I don't put anything past them.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you know what? We'll see. We'll see Thursday, but they got to come out and play their best game of the season, and they don't even have to play their best game of the season. They got to play.
Just show up. Just show up.
Play good. Take the crowd out of it. Get a goal early. Don't let any of the shenanigans go on, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
All right. Thanks to our sponsors again, Bjorn and Don Cherries, and yeah.
All right, go Leafs, go.
See you on Thursday night.
Whew.